Hello, and welcome to my Week 4 presentation on comparing hearts. First, we will discuss the sandpiper. For the heart anatomy, there are 4 chambers, 2 atria, 2 ventricles, just like regular mammals. The blood flow starts with deoxygenated blood that returns to the right atrium, then follows through to the right ventricle, then to the lungs via pulmonary artery. Then oxygenated blood returns to the left atrium, to the left ventricle, then to the systemic circulation via the aortic arch. For the valves, the right atrioventricular valve, a muscular flap, not a fibrous valve like mammals. Then there is a left atrioventricular valve, like mammalian mitral valves. Then there is a semilunar valve at the pulmonary artery and aorta, which prevent backflow. Then there is the cardiac cycle, which is highly efficient. Birds have a very fast heart rate to meet their extreme oxygen demands due to flight. They have a systole, which ventricles contract and blood is pushed out. Then they have a diastole, where the atria and ventricles relax and the blood fills the heart with the chambers. Next, we will discuss the sea turtle. The sea turtle is our reptile. The heart anatomy includes 3 chambers, 2 atria, 1 ventricle, but the ventricle is partially subdivided. As for the blood flow, we have deoxygenated blood that returns to the right atrium, then to the ventricle on the right side, and then to the lungs. Then oxygenated blood returns to the left atrium, to the ventricle on the left side, and then throughout the body. Because the ventricle is only partially separated, some mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood occurs. As for the valves, there are 2 atrioventricular valves, right and left, between the atria and the ventricle. Semilunar valves at the pulmonary and systemic exits. As for the cardiac cycle, they are slower than birds and mammals. The partial division allows sea turtles to shunt blood, send it back to the body without going through the lungs when diving to conserve oxygen. Next, we have the border collie for our mammal. The heart anatomy includes 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricle, just like the birds. And for the blood flow, deoxygenated blood returns to the right atrium, through the right ventricle and to the lungs via the pulmonary artery. Oxygenated blood returns to the left atrium, through the left ventricle, and then throughout the body via the aorta. As for the valves, there is a right atrioventricular tricuspid valve. Then there is a left atrioventricular mitral bicuspid valve. Then a semilunar valve at pulmonary artery and aorta. As for the cardiac cycle, it's similar to humans. They have a systole, which ventricles contract, pushing out blood, and then they also have a diastole, where the heart chambers relax and fill with blood. Dogs have relatively fast and flexible heart rates, especially athletic breeds like border collies. And here you can see some of the similarities and differences, just kind of compiled into a table. So you have your features, which is your number of chambers, do they mix with oxygen, the valve structures, the cardiac speed, and the evolutionary group. And as far as evolutionary group for sandpipers, they have avian dinosaur descendants, and then sea turtles are reptiles and border collies are mammals. Sandpipers and border collies both have fully separated 4-chambered hearts that complete separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, maximizing oxygen delivery. Sea turtles have a semi-mixed system that is adaptive for diving, not maximum oxygen delivery. Does anatomy affect function? Yes. Sandpipers need a highly efficient heart to fuel high-energy flight, while sea turtles benefit from controlled oxygen conservation during long underwater dives. Border collies, on the other hand, have a heart that supports endurance and bursts of speed, matching their working, active lifestyles. Here we are going to compare to other animals in similar environments. So let's compare the sandpiper to a bat, which is another flying mammal. Both have 4-chambered hearts, but bats have mammalian hearts with a different valve structure. Comparing sea turtles to a marine mammal like a dolphin, where dolphins have 4-chambered hearts like other mammals with full separation, unlike turtles, which allow more efficient oxygen-rich circulation underwater. Comparing a border collie to a wolf, similar environment, obviously wilder, very similar cardiovascular systems, both adapted for endurance, thus the different heart designs, 3 chambers versus 4 chambers. They allow very different abilities to survive under similar pressures like living in water, turtle versus dolphin, or needing to fly, bird versus bat. Now we'll discuss the evolutionary history versus selective pressure. For the evolutionary history, sandpipers inherited the four-chambered heart from the dinosaur ancestors that had already evolved highly active lifestyles. Sea turtles, on the other hand, reflect the reptilian condition, which is 3 chambers, although they've adapted partial separation because of diving needs. Border collies inherited the mammalian 4-chamber heart from synapsid ancestors. As for selective pressures, there's flight in birds, which demanded even more cardiac efficiency, pushing avian hearts to extreme performance. There's diving in turtles, selected for the ability to shunt blood, leading to some heart specialization despite ancestral structure. And the high activity and endurance in collies reinforce the importance of a strong, efficient heart. In conclusion, the sandpiper, sea turtle, and border collie each possess heart structures uniquely suited to their environmental and evolutionary background, as well as ecological demands. While the sandpiper and border collie both have fully separated 4-chambered hearts that allow for efficient oxygen delivery, supporting flight and high activity respectively, the sea turtle retains a partially divided 3-chambered heart, an ancestral reptilian trait that has been refined to support prolonged dives through blood shunting. These anatomical differences directly influence cardiac function, with birds and mammals prioritizing efficiency and separation of oxygenated blood, while reptiles like the turtle exhibit flexible circulation of variable oxygen use. Ultimately, the form and function of each heart reflect a balance between inherited evolutionary traits and adaptations to specific environmental pressures, such as flight, diving, or endurance, illustrating how anatomy evolves to meet physiological demands. And here we have my references. Thank you so much.